It was well for those boys, then, that there was one among them who could sniff danger even in his sleep. Peter sprang erect, as wide awake at once as a dog, and with one warning cry he roused the others. He stood motionless, one hand to his ear. "Pirates!" he cried. The others came closer to him. A strange smile was playing about his face, and Wendy saw it and shuddered. While that smile was on his face, no one dared address him. All they could do was to stand, ready to obey. The order came sharp and incisive. "Dive!" There was a gleam of legs, and instantly the lagoon seemed deserted. Marooners Rock stood alone in the forbidding waters, as if it were itself marooned. The boat drew nearer. It was the pirate dinghy with 3 figures in her, Smee and Starkey, and the third a captive, no other than Tiger Lilly. Her hands and ankles were tied, and she knew what was to be her fate. She was to be left on the rock to perish, an end to one of her race more terrible than death by fire or torture. For is it not written in the book of the tribe that there is no path through water to the happy hunting ground? Yet her face was impassive. She was the daughter of a chief. She must die as a chief's daughter. It is enough. They had caught her boarding the pirate ship with a knife in her mouth. No watch was kept on the ship, it being Hook's boast that the wind of his name guarded the ship for a mile around. Now her fate would help to guard it also. One more whale would go the round in that wind by night. In the gloom that they brought with them, the 2 pirates did not see the rock till they crashed into it.
"Luff, ye lubber!"
cried an Irish voice that was Smee's.
"Here's the rock. Now then, what we have to do is to hoist the redskin onto it and leave her there to drown."
It was the work of one brutal moment to land the beautiful girl on the rock. She was too proud to offer a vain resistance. Quite near the rock, but out of sight, 2 heads were bobbing up and down, Peter's and Wendy's. Wendy was crying, for it was the first tragedy she had seen. Peter had seen many tragedies, but he had forgotten them all. He was less sorry than Wendy for Tiger Lilly. It was 2 against 1 that angered him, and he meant to save her. An easy way would have been to wait until the pirates had gone, but he was never one to choose the easy way. There was almost nothing he could not do, and he now imitated the voice of Hook.
"Ahoy there, you lubbers!"
he called. It was a marvellous imitation.
"The captain?"
said the pirates, staring at each other in surprise.
"He must be swimming out to us,"
Starkey said when they had looked for him in vain.
"We're putting the redskin on the rock,"
Smee called out.
"Set her free,"
came the astonishing answer.
"Free?" "Yes, cut her bonds and let her go." "But, Captain, at once, do you hear?"
cried Peter.
"Or I'll plunge my hook in you." "This is queer,"
Smee gasped.
"Better do what the captain orders,"
said Starkey nervously.
"Aye, aye,"
Smee said, and he cut Tiger Lily's cords. At once, like an eel, she slid between Starkey's legs into the water. Of course, Wendy was very elated over Peter's cleverness, but she knew that he would be elated also and very likely crow and thus betray himself, so at once her hand went out to cover his mouth. But it was stayed even in the act, for
"Boat ahoy!"
ran over the lagoon in Hook's voice, but this time it was not Peter who had spoken. Peter may have been about to crow, but his face puckered in a whistle of surprise instead.
"Boat ahoy!"
again came the voice. Now Wendy understood. The real Hook was also in the water. He was swimming to the boat, and as his men showed a light to guide him, he had soon reached them. In the light of the lantern, Wendy saw his hook grip the boat's side. She saw his evil, swarthy face as he rose, dripping from the water, and, quaking, she would have liked to swim away. But Peter would not budge. He was tingling with life and also top-heavy with conceit.
"Am I not a wonder? Oh, I am a wonder,"
he whispered to her, and though she thought so also, she was really glad for the sake of his reputation that no one heard him except herself. He signed to her to listen.